What's going on? Welcome back if you've been here before. If you're new, my name's Drew. I make music under the name Mass Hollow. And what I wanted to kind of talk about today is being grateful. Um, Last week, I had a pretty bad day at work. I came home, I went to my studio room, I sat down, and I was just trying to decompress. And while I was decompressing, I started to think about this time when I was in high school and I spent the night at a friend's house. And at the time, he lived in like, I don't know, pretty big house, nice neighborhood, like four bedrooms, a pool, all this stuff. I remember waking up like before anybody else, and I went downstairs to get a drink. And I remember having this thought like, man, this place is beautiful. If I had something like this, I would never be upset. I don't understand how you can complain and have a house like this. Now, I don't have a place like that, but I am proud of the place that I have. And I have everything that I could need or want. So, why am I not like just happy all the time? And it's crazy to think about because statistically, I've beat the odds in several different ways. I grew up in a single parent household under the poverty line. I can't count how many times I've moved because of different evictions. Just, my mom trying to keep a stable house and like put food on the table. And, I'm the only male in my family that hasn't been to jail, knock on wood. But the reason why I bring that stuff up is not because I think it's super important, but the more I start thinking about it, maybe it contributes to who I am in more ways than I'd like to admit. I never wanted to use my upbringing or anything as a scapegoat. I just felt like, maybe if I just kept going, kept working harder, kept doing X, Y, and Z, that things would change or just magically wouldn't matter anymore. But, really when you just keep trying to run against the wind, you're pushing against forces that you have no control over. And I just never wanted to use those things as like a scapegoat. But maybe there's no way to escape being influenced by your environment. Whether you're pushing against it or you're being influenced by it, either way, you're giving it some kind of a reaction. And despite all the relative abundance that I have, not to discredit myself, I do work hard for what I got, but I still feel like I don't have enough. And I tend to get wrapped up in the negative and think negatively about things. And more importantly, I get this overwhelming feeling pretty often that, I don't deserve to be here and that the rug is going to get pulled out at any moment and I'm going to end up in similar circumstances to the one that I grew up in, because I know that that's a reality for a lot of people. And the only reason why I'm even here is because of how much my mother sacrificed and what she taught me. And it still just feels like I'm one bad step away from everything falling apart, and it's all going to be on my shoulders, and I'm not going to have somebody to bail me out. When you're a kid and you're going through that stuff, it's a little bit easier to navigate because your parent or whoever is the one kind of bearing the burden more than anything. But now, I'm the adult. I'm the one that has to make shit work and make stuff happen. I don't know if that's a normal feeling. I think maybe that might have something to do with the way that I was brought up, because I look around and I see a lot of people doing different things, and it just seems like they don't have the same kind of like fear, not fear of failure, but fear that like if this doesn't work out, everything is going to crumble apart. Or even when things are going good, I just haven't had those conversations with people where they're like, yeah, things are going good, but can't get too comfortable because it might fall apart. This isn't how I want to look at things. Like, I want to look at things more positively. I want to, feel like I have a sense of control. I think that when you grow up a certain type of way and you're told that you have to try harder, and then even when you do try harder and you put work in, you don't see the same benefits or get the same rewards that you perceive other people to get, it really starts to wear you down. Like, prime example is working. Like, I think I tend to undersell myself when I work or have like a fear of taking money from people because I know how much of an impact and how like important money is and can be. And we didn't have a lot of it growing up. So like something that my tattoo artist told me was he feels bad about charging people sometimes, so he would often undercut himself on his own costs. But then he had a client that was pretty well off, and when he told them the price and then he started working it down, that client told him, hey, stop shopping with your wallet. And that kind of stuck with me when he told me this story, because like it doesn't really matter what I think I'm worth. It's what's it worth to you, and are you comfortable spending that money? Like $20 to me now still seems like a lot of money, but $20 to somebody else that's making 6 figures, 7 figures, that's a drop in the bucket. Like they spend that on their coffee every day. So it's really just about like getting out of your own way. I've been working since I was like 13 under the table, and I didn't work and associate money or working with getting money and getting the things that I want, because, you know, no fault to my mom. She was amazing, but that's my dog in the background. But yeah, no fault to my mom, but like no matter how much I worked, like the money always had somewhere to go. Like we were always behind on something, and the money I made wasn't my money to keep. I helped the family, and so did my siblings. We all helped the family. We helped each other. So I never associated hard work and money with getting the things that you want. And I think over time that can make it so you feel like you don't have any control or any influence on things. And I kind of held that negative belief for quite some time as I got older. And, you know, I've been working really hard the past couple of years to shake it. But, you know, when you have a bad week or a bad day, it's easy to fall back into that trap of old habits and thinking negatively about things. And I don't want this to come off too woo-woo. Like, I know that there's harsh realities in the world, and as much as you do, or you can do all the right things, and it just might not work out. But I would like to feel like I have a little bit more control over things than I feel like I do now. Pretzel. Sorry, that's my pup getting into stuff. Come here. But yeah, I mean, I guess like for the sake of not rambling too much, the point I'm trying to make is that I don't want to view everything with these negative glasses. I want to feel like I have more control, and that doing the work is going to mean something, instead of just pushing the boulder up the hill and thinking, well, this is just life and this is what we do. We just push the boulder and one day it's just going to crush us. It's basically like if it's a sunny day and everybody's like, hey, let's go outside. And you're like, no, I'm not going to go outside because it's about to rain. And then if it doesn't rain, you stayed inside and you didn't get to go and experience the sunshine. But if it does rain, you get the chance to say, see, I told you so. I knew it was going to happen. And that's not a good way to experience things at all. Words are important to me, and I have a million quotes stored up in my head. And one of the quotes that I like is from the philosopher Seneca, a Stoic philosopher. And he said, a man who suffers before it's necessary suffers more than necessary. And I keep trying to tell myself that to help me get into the present, stop worrying so much, stop like catastrophizing things in my head. But it's definitely a process. And look, I think it's natural to a certain extent to get caught up in the negative and worry, and it is useful to a certain extent. I mean, it is a survival mechanism that's kind of embedded in us, but it's also important to understand that we don't live in the world that we used to live in, and we have to figure out when it's useful to worry about things and when you need to just kind of take a step back and recenter yourself and be in the present. And one thing that I like to do is kind of think of where I came from and where I am now, and try to be a little bit more grateful about what I do have and not so concerned on where I would like to be, and that tends to help me a lot. And while this stuff was front of mind and I was in the studio, I sat down and I wrote a song. That song's called Survivor's Guilt. I just released it last week. If you'd like to hear it, I'll have a link in the description. Go ahead and click on that, check it out. And yeah, I think that I did a pretty decent job of summarizing how I was feeling at that time and kind of like summing these topics up into a song format. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if this video is valuable to anybody or if it just sounds like I'm rambling and I don't make any sense, but hey, I said that I was going to do a video every 2 weeks, and no matter what, whether it's a little bit more well produced or it's just like me talking off the top, it is what it is. Hope to see you guys in the next couple weeks. If you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. I'll have all my links in the description. And until next time, peace.